What Brad Garlinghouse just did is lay out the big picture for Ripple stablecoin. It's not just for the US either. Look at this. This talk needs to be seen all the way through. I also need to show you two more things that are related to all of this. It's going to be really cool. Look at this. Let's go. If you do this, you might be able to start your stablecoin a little faster than most people thought. But we've said from the start that we'll do everything we can to launch this year. Everything Ripple does is in line with getting licenses and approval from the government. So, one important thing is that we will keep working with US officials to make sure we are ready to launch the stablecoin. We plan to release it first in the US, but we think there's a market for stablecoins all over the world. For example, Japan passed laws a year ago that went into effect this year, which you probably already know. Because of this, work is already being done to make safe coins here in Japan. Yes, I'd like to talk about that. When it comes to the US, however, this launch will happen in a few weeks. We had planned to move as quickly as possible, yes. The New York DFS Department of Financial Services, and we've worked well together thanks to a BitLicense we've had for a long time. They are still our partner, and we'll work through that with them before we go live. Tell us about the use case. What's the real difference between this and your token? Since that's also been talked about when it comes to the payment method. Okay, we've always used XRP, which is a digital asset that works well with our system. That was a bridge asset that we used to send money between countries. We found that the market for stablecoins, especially US dollar stablecoins, has grown from a small size. It's now about $170 billion around the world. And in case you didn't know, Ripple was moving money some of the time using Tether. Plus, they're probably wondering why they should hire this company that seems sketchy from the outside, right? I don't think they wanted to work with Circle in any way, since they want to go up against Circle, right? They want to be the next stablecoin. That's why I want to give you some background. I know you watch the show to get information. Hello, sweetheart. I'm right here with you on a Saturday giving you that. Margex is the one who brought you this movie. Crazy as it sounds, you can enter a lot of different cryptocurrencies and trade futures and derivatives with up to 100 times your initial deposit. Several ways to pay are possible. You can pay with MasterCard, Visa, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and 152 other cards. Sign up now to get bonuses worth up to $10,000. You can use my link that I put in the beginning of the post. When you put up to $100, you'll get $50 back for free. You can also use 50% of the bonuses to pay for exchange fees. I am excited to see how you do here. It's also possible to copy trade if you want to learn from really good traders while still getting better. They have a whole website just for copy trading. If you want to learn how to do all of this, you can find places on the Margex site to do so. Thanks for watching. Come back to the movie. And some people think it could reach 2 to 3 trillion in 5 years. Ripple is an important part of the payments infrastructure and a known brand that works with banks and regulators. We saw this as a chance to get into the stablecoin market as it continues to growing. Stablecoins have already been used in some of our payment flows based on whether you're going to the Philippine peso or the Australian dollar. Sometimes it's better to use a stablecoin in certain areas. We always do what the customer wants. We chose to build our own stablecoin and go live. And looking forward to going live with that this year. It sounds like you might be able to build a stablecoin here in Japan because the rules are simpler, but the market is also more conservative, right? Tell me. In some ways, I think Japan has been a more cautious market. However, I believe it is also very good for you in some ways. Japan jumped in earlier than some other countries around the world to make regulations clear and pass laws both about stablecoins and laws from even earlier. In 2018, Japan's FSA made it clear what cryptocurrencies would be controlled and gave them a kind of taxonomy. And I think that's what has made business and investment really grow here in Japan. Compared to Japan, the UK, and Switzerland, the US has really been behind. There are a lot of leaders, and Japan has been one in many ways. Not that they haven't been cautious with the rules, but I think that can be a good thing. Smart business people will follow the rules as long as they are clear. How long do you think it will take for a stablecoin to appear in Japan? But I think Ripple is focusing on letting the US dollar stablecoin go live right now. But I think there will be. It's only a matter of time before people want to hold yen stablecoins. About a year ago, passed some laws about that. Some businesses are also going through the licensing process right now so they can go live. In Japan, many of the companies that work in this area are big enterprises. Is it a worry that the smaller, more creative companies don't get the lead? I believe what you're seeing is some of the bigger companies teaming up with the smaller, more innovative ones. That was back in 2016. There are different best ways to join each market, which we try to figure out. We've talked about rules being a little clearer, especially here in Japan. The government has also been very involved in making those rules. At the same time, we're getting closer to an election for president for the leftist party that is currently in power. What do you think about the chance that this market will change? In fact, I've met with regulators, the FSA, and political officials while I've been in Japan. I've also heard over and over that people want to use these tools more. I believe that this place has, on a general level, been very open to new ideas. Because of this, more jobs are being made. It helps, and it might even get the market going again. I think that some of these assets can be used to deal with what has been a bit of decline and bring things back into balance, as well as how prices work in different places. You're even more encouraged if you're not from Asia, where some of these places can be very closed off. Yeah, I think that's been my opinion in the past. Let me tell you something I felt very welcome everywhere with the FSA and with political officials. These people want these kinds of technologies to be accepted and used, whether it's AI, crypto, and blockchain. That's the word I've heard over and over again in meetings over the last day or two. Does that really stand in contrast to the warmth and welcome you feel in the US? It's a sad truth, you know? I mean, it makes me laugh, but it's annoying. I was born and raised in the United States. Today, most of Ripple's workers work from home in the United States, but the number of people we hire from outside the US has grown by a huge amount. Don't say how big that is. So we have about 900 workers around the world. We've hired 75% people from outside the US because of something like what you're talking about. The United States has been very against crypto. Since Biden took office, the government has had a pretty sour view. And that has meant this kind of control by having to follow the rules. The SEC in the US has charged many companies in this area. Instead of putting together a system and codifying rules like the Japanese government has done, they've just sued people. That's not a good way to keep an industry in check. Are you sure that will change if Trump gets reelected? He is known for being very crypto-friendly. I'm not sure who will win. What I think is that the US Securities and Exchange Commission will have new heads no matter who wins. It will be a big change of guard at that point, though. Now, it's clear that Trump and the Republicans are becoming more and more crypto-friendly. Cryptocurrency and blockchain are very popular with both Democrats and Republicans. No matter what party you're from, you shouldn't care about a tool. It makes sense for people on both sides of the aisle to support new ideas and job growth. It's kind of like saying, I'm a Republican and I don't like email, but I'm a Democrat and I do that. Just doesn't make sense, at least for now, because they're not sure what to do because, they're for and against email. For now, there won't be an IPO in the US. We don't have any, sorry, we can't see that far away. Lucky to have a cash sheet that is so strong. For the IPO, the SEC would have to give its okay, and Ripple will want to start trading in a good market. Things are going really well in the market right now. They're not going to launch at the top of the stock market because it has been going up for years. Instead, they're going to let it go all the way down. Where does all that cash come from? How much of that number comes from outside of Asia? I'm not sure of the exact number. We see our business as one that does business all over the world. 95% of our buyers are not from the United States. Asia and the Pacific make up about 40% of our business in terms of cash flows. Our customers are banks, other banking institutions, and payment providers. To go over this one more time. These deals are made easier with the help of the XRP ledger and the XRP coin. Ripple is the company, and these banks and other financial institutions are our users. Some people get these two terms mixed up. Also, did you see this? The three largest banks in Japan, MUFG, Mizuho, and SMBC, are planning to use a stablecoin to send money between countries. Do you think Brad Garlinghouse just talked about something? In Japan, a stablecoin. There are links, right? The most powerful company in Asia is based in Japan. It's called SBI Group. Guys, these kinds of agreements don't happen very often between crypto companies. Not many of them. You don't meet with people who are chosen to lead countries, right? It's not going to happen. This is what makes me believe. This is why I own XRP and why I hope you keep learning and coming back. I'm sorry, it's not very bright. It's still early in Japan. I'm in Hawaii. I'm sorry.